Welcome to my latest video on something rather special. It's Fireblade, but not as we know it. This is the Honda Evo Blade, which dates back to 1999. Quite a thing, quite a story behind this thing actually. If you go back to 1998, Honda won their 100th TT, hence the graphic there, and they were worried. Yeah, thank you. They were worried about the R1, which Yamaha had just brought out, and for 1999. So they got together with Russell Savory, who was running their British Superbike team at that time. Sorry, with Sanyo as their sponsors, and put their heads together and decided to go mad and produce a very limited edition Fireblade to tackle the R1 at the TT in 1999. And yeah, so they wanted to make it like an official bike, so dealers could sell it with a warranty and fully homologated production bike by Honda. And so they got together with Russell Savory, let's say, who was running the Superbike team at the time, and John Keogh, who was, ace designer, kind of, I suppose, specialising in aerodynamics, and brought him into the project, which was overseen by Tadeo Baba himself, who was loving it. Proper skunk works kind of situation. Anyway, this is the result. They set about building like a mega blade, or an Evo Blade, to give it its proper title, as you can see. And here it is. Basically, the headlines are, they went really mad on the engine. So this is the 918 Fireblade, based on the 918 Fireblade. About 115 horsepower, something like that. This thing's got massive cams, big valve springs, matched and balanced pistons, flat slide carbs, full race exhaust system. Honda claim about 150 horsepower. So really big on the engine. Single-sided swing arm, which is a Ram swing arm from America. Not sure what the thinking was on that. I suppose they were maybe harking back to the RC45 days or something like that, maybe. But obviously with the TT in mind, I suppose pit stops were on the agenda. So it got a single-sided swing arm, ram air here, a trick dash, stack dash. More on that in a minute when we get riding. Olin suspension. Let's let this car past. Olin suspension, Dimag wheels. I'm not sure what they're made out of. I don't think they're magnesium, but they're lightweight wheels anyway. Chassis was remained unchanged, but everything else. Olin's front and rear, Brembo brakes. You push this thing around, it's like super light. Oh, big fuel tank, 24-litre fuel tank as well. So it's a Fireblade, but not as we know it. And I've just done a photo shoot, just finished here at this location for Fast Bikes magazine. I'm about to ride back now to the lockup to drop it back, and I thought, and it's such a lovely day, why not do a little onboard ride back with us, and we'll have a little talk. So that's the bike, kind of up close. Very cool thing. Let's go. I just did a snort like a pig there. There's your dash. Cool thing. First bit is 6,000 revs. 0 to 6,000 there, 6,000 to 12,000 all the way around there. Number 21. Oh yeah, so the end of the story. Let's get going, and I'll tell you the end of the story. So we're not too far from the lockup, so I will we'll go back this way. Well, I don't know if you can hear the flat slide. rattling underneath me, but it's very subtle. So yeah, anyway, the end of the story goes, they never obviously raced it, because they only actually managed to produce, I don't know, something like 26. Not very many anyway. So Yamaha kicked off about its legality for the 1999 TT, and strangely enough, so did Harley Davidson apparently, so the story goes, that the name Evo is featured in the name of one of their models, so they got involved with the whole argument as well. So here we are, there's your stack dash. If you go too far at the throttle, I don't know if you heard that just bog a little bit, don't like it. Wait, it's a bit mud done. Go along here in 6th gear, absolutely no problem at all, it's just a nice place to be. The biggest thing is its weight, or lack of. You can feel this bike. If I had to guess, put it on scales without any fuel, I would say it's got to be in the 180s. It's got to be. It feels like there's nothing there. Suspension's probably a little bit soft on this one, tyres are a little bit old, but it kind of doesn't matter because it just feels so easy to roll around into the corners. It feels just right, and you would not know this bike is, well, how old is this bike? 99, what are we now? 2025. Really old. What's that, 30? No, it's not. 2025. 26 years old. Oh my god. That's really old. Don't feel like it. So yeah, one of the things, these ram air scoops here, I mean, they completely obstruct your view of the switchgear, so you can't actually see anything that you're supposed to be reaching for. So you go for your indicator or your headlights, you just can't see. You just got to sort of like poke around. It's just so fast. So yeah, number one thing is weight. Number two thing is that engine. For an engine that's so heavily tuned, it's amazing how flexible it is. It really is. You would expect it to be a right pig low down, considering how, like I say, heavily tuned it is, because it's 115 to 150 plus is a big old jump, and there's going to be some compromise you'd expect somewhere in the engine, but not so. It's absolutely, it feels really incredibly modern. And yeah, it's got big old flat slides, heavily tuned, and there's no sense of that at all, unless, as I say, you're at low revs and you go for a big handful of throttle. Oh, that's the horn. See what I mean? Thought I was cancelling the indicator. Hit the horn. So I actually got to meet the John Keogh once upon a time and pick his brains about this bike. Really, really interesting guy. Super clever, a obviously, as you'd expect. But he reworked every panel on this, so it looks like a blade. So his challenge was to make it immediately identifiable as a 918 Fireblade. But obviously make it significantly more aerodynamic, which he did. And this bike, none of the panels share the same profile or design, I suppose, or properties as the standard bikes, and yet at a glance you'd look at it and go, oh yeah, it's a 918 Fireblade with some big ram air scoops. So I think he certainly delivered on his part of the bargain, but the engine was where they went big on, and it's just an interesting thing. You know, you kind of wonder, you don't see things like that these days, these kind of projects which is like a Honda sanctioned project where, you know, an engine tuner is commissioned to produce a mega blade in enough quantities to be A, homologated, and B, sold with a warranty through the Honda dealer network, just so they can try and see off the threat from the newly arrived R1 from Yamaha, which of course ultimately they didn't manage, but they nonetheless did produce this cheeky little thing. Here we are at Horncastle. I think what I might do is I might actually pull in here, see if I can find the switch, because what I don't want to do, I'll just pull in here and have a quick sign off. What I don't want to do is for you to see where the lockup is. So I hope that gave you a little sense of, if I can get my visor open, there we are. I hope that gave you a little sense of really quite an interesting bike from an interesting time when manufacturers would go to these lengths to try and win a TT. And on the back of their 100th win in '98, I think it was Jim Moody took that win actually on a Fireblade. You end up with this. So there you are. Here I get RS Performance, Russell Savory. That was him. There's your Ram swing arm, which is an American thing. We'll come around this side. Olin's. Can't see the flat slides, but for all intents and purposes it looks like a pretty standard Fireblade, but of course actually underneath, as I say, it's massively different. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Little trundle out on the Honda Evo Fireblade. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as is the way, I wouldn't be doing my job as a YouTube sensation if I didn't say please consider liking and subscribing the video. Well, liking the video, alright mate? Liking the video and subscribing to the channel, or whatever it is you do. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Adios. Sayonara.